Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is part 4 of Let's Make a Puzzle. Today we're going to start on the coding, see how we go for time, whether we're going to complete it all today or we may split it, the coding into two parts. I'm trying to keep these videos short and sweet, see whether people prefer them that way. Okay, so without further ado, let's get on with it. So this is going to consist of making a few functions, and I will explain as we go along what the functions are actually doing. So what we're going to do is we're going to make up the empty functions first, then we'll fill them in. Okay. So, and we'll actually start implementing them. So let's go to our event graph. Leave everything there for now. So we're going to go to our functions. We're going to add a function. We're going to call this create puzzle. We're going to add another function. We're going to call this shuffle puzzle. Try and make your function names something sort of understandable, so that when you're looking back through your code at a later date, you can actually see what the function is supposed to do. We're going to make another one, and we're going to call this one, I'm going to copy and paste it because I'm lazy, get neighboring tiles. We're going to do another one, say get move to position. Position is fine. And then with this other function that we're now going to make now, it's not 100% necessary. You can write this straight in the code, but I like to do a function just to help us. We're going to call it possesses and possesses. Okay. That's it for the functions that we're going to use. We do need a few variables, so let's make the variables. Okay, so first of all, we're going to make a variable, and we're going to call it spaces. And this is of type box collision, type, and it's going to be an array. Okay. We'll add another one. I'm going to call this tiles. And this is going to be of type static mesh. Make sure you choose static mesh component, not actor. And we want this as an array as well. And while we're doing the arrays, let's do one more. And this one is going to call this relative locations. And this is going to be of type vector, and it's an array. Okay. We're going to do another one. This is going to be material instance, and this is going to be of type material instance dynamic. Make sure you choose a dynamic, and this is a singular, array. Next one we're going to make is one called grid size. And this is going to be of type integer. I'm going to make sure we compile, and this one we're going to set the grid size to be 3. Okay. Compile. We'll make another one. We're going to call this puzzle image. And this is going to be of type texture 2D. And we're going to make this instant editable so you can edit this inside Game World. We can make another one, variable, and we're going to call this mesh size, and that's of type float. Another variable, start location, and that's of type vector. And another one, we're going to call this player. And this is of type pawn, object reference. And the final variable we need is one called blend time. And this is of type float. And this one we're also going to add a value of 2. Okay. Let's start with create puzzle. And I think it's probably all we're going to be able to do today. So let's start with create puzzle. So go ahead and open up your create puzzle function. Then go and dead then. Okay. So first of all, we're going to get our spaces. We're going to set that. We're also going to get our tiles and we're going to set that. Okay, what are we going to set them to? Well, we need to make the array. So we drag off here, and array here, make array. And in this one, we want up to 8 pieces, so up to 8 here. And the spaces are going to be our position. Be very careful that you put them in the correct one. So position 1 at 0, 3, 2, 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, there's our 8. Basically, the tiles we can do exactly the same thing. Into array, make array. This is only goes to 7, not 8. Remember, there's one less. Oops. If you do like I've just done, accidentally do too many, right click, remove array elements. And we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to drag our tiles in. So again, make sure you keep them 0 to 0, 1 to 1, so on and so forth. Or else you'll find it will do some strange, confusing results when you try later on to play the puzzle. I nearly made a mistake there. You don't have to put them in order, you just put them wherever you pick them, as long as these numbers correspond with these numbers, you will be fine. Okay. So we've got our 2 arrays, we've made our 2 arrays, let's compile that. Then we're going to get our tiles. We're going to for each loop to our tiles. like so. Then what we're going to do is we're going to drag off here and say create dynamic material instance. Okay. Now, where you have element index here, we want to change this to 1. Reason being is, click on the tile, we have 0 and 1. 1 is the black part, which is the top, and that's the part we want to be changing. Okay. And the material is your, if you go to your material store, our MPuzzle material. Okay. Just like that. Dragging our material instance, we're going to set that. Okay. Now, at this point, it's a very good idea just to open up your material. So go back to your content drawer. I do know the shortcuts, I'm just lazy to use them. Okay, so we open it up. The reason being this is if we get these names wrong, this will not work. So the best way to make sure you don't get these names wrong, no matter how good a spelling you are and you think, is just to copy and paste them. So trust me, I've learned this through a bit of experience, spending hours working out why something don't work, and there's a space when there shouldn't be a space, or you put a misspelling. So for your own sanity, just copy and paste. Okay, so what we're going to do is going to drag out here. I'm going to say set scalar parameter value, and this is the parameter value name, and the one we're going to look for is number of pieces. So if we just click on here, go to here, copy that. Nice and simple. You know you're going to be 100% the correct one. Okay. I remember doing a tutorial once with somebody, and they thought I was being a bit over the top with copy and paste. And they were just typing it in, and I said, you know, copy and paste it if I was you. And they didn't listen to me. And in the end, they couldn't get it to work, and it was down to the fact that they made a spelling mistake in the name of the parameter value. It was something very similar. Okay, sorry, I got diverted. So we're going to drag in our grid size, and we're going to multiply it by itself, because that gives us a number of pieces. Yeah. Okay. We're going to convert this to float, and we're going to put that to there. Then we're going to get the square root of this. You want the SQRT, not the square root. You get this node. Okay. Now we don't want a fractional number, so we're going to truncate this. And gives us an output of an integer. We're also now going to drag our material instance in, and we're going to say set vector parameter value. And make sure you choose the right one, and you get this one. And here we're going to say make linear color. Going to give us this node. Then give yourself a bit of space because you're going to need a bit more. Now again, we've got to put in a parameter name. And the parameter name will be our puzzle position. So again, copy and paste. Be safe. Okay, so now we've got to do the math to work out these positions. Okay, we don't care about A and B, so they can stay as 0. All we're caring about is the RG. Okay. So what we're going to do is we are going to get our array index. give ourselves some reroute nodes. Around about there. Make it a bit neater. Okay, so we're going to get our array index and we're going to divide this by the result of the square root. Okay. And we're going to get a node called make vector 2D. We're going to right click on it, split the pin. The X is going to go to the R and the Y is going to go to the G. Remember in amateur we use the R and G for X and Y. Okay, so the result of this one is going to go to Y and it will make a conversion for us. And we're going to come out of here and we're going to use the percent sign, which is a modulus, in other words the remainder of the division. Okay, so whatever's left, the modulus of our array index goes to here and the square root truncated, and then that's simply going to go. Nothing I do about cross, but you can move it around, say crossing lines if you want, up to you. And the last thing we're going to do is take our material instance and we are going to set texture parameter value. The value is going to be our puzzle image. Now, at the moment we don't have anything, but we'll soon deal with that in a second. Parameter name, image. Okay, even though it's a simple word, I still copy and paste. I know it's exactly the same, paste, so on and so forth. Okay, so let's grab an image. I believe I have one here somewhere. The dog again. Okay. Again, use whatever image you want. Just make sure your image is square. I've used 500 by 500 square or 512 by 512, but just make sure it's square. Okay. You could end up with some strange looking results or some unwanted space around tiles. So this puzzle image here, I'm just going to set to be default value of this test picture here. But again, you can set that to whatever you like. Okay, I don't want this to go on any longer. So this is one of the main functions. We'll leave it here for today. Next episode, we will carry on with the coding, and probably there'll only be 1 or 2 more episodes, see how we get on. So, as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, check out my Patreon. If you like the work I do, come and join me on Patreon or buy me a coffee, or join my Discord for a chat. See you in the next one. Bye.